What do you get if you DIY your own LLC? An LLC is a registered entity. So what that means is in order to create the LLC, you do have to file with the government. And this doesn't matter what state you're in. All 50 states and the District of Columbia require LLCs to register, just like a corporation. So anybody can log on to the Secretary of State website and register their own LLC. So creating an LLC by yourself is absolutely possible. And for example, in Iowa, it costs you $50 to do it yourself. What you get with an LLC is you get a registration, and that's it. If I were to go grab one of my law books that has all of the laws for corporations, it would be thick. It's a hefty book. And then contrast that with the law of Iowa for LLCs, I can print that entirely on paper, and it's like 44 pages long. It's not very big at all. So the LLC laws are very small. The reason why is because LLCs are extremely flexible. What you get by doing the LLC is you get the ability to make it whatever you want. And your LLC is made by a contract, an operating agreement. And you do not get an operating agreement by filing yourself with a Secretary of State. Now, you can find operating agreement templates online, and those are sometimes better than nothing. But the problem is that those are cookie cutter and they're made for any business. And a lot of the things that we like about LLCs, we get by having a well-crafted operating agreement. And so what we usually like to do is we like to set up rules. Who can make decisions for the company? What kinds of decisions can they make? If the company gets sued, what is the business obligated to do? Let's just say that there's a single owner LLC, and that person, not for work purposes, is driving and they hit a school bus and they cause a lot of damage, and then that person gets sued. Can whoever is suing them take the LLC away from them or make the LLC pay them money? These are all things that have to be defined in the operating agreement. So what we like to do is we like to see a nice operating agreement crafted by an attorney or by an attorney who has listened to what kinds of risks your business faces, what kinds of needs, what kinds of industry you're in, what kinds of certifications you have, what your long-term plans are, if you're going to have partners, if you are going to be investing in real estate, that's a special area where we usually do some customizations to the LLC operating agreement. But these are all things that you get when you hire a professional attorney to do the LLC for you, and you do not get when you DIY your LLC. When you DIY your LLC, you can go on the web and you can find these services, and they'll sell you the LLC package. And usually the prices look ridiculously cheap, like $250 or $299. And then what happens is as you click through, all of these things that you get with an attorney are actually add-ons, and they're not actually crafted for you by an attorney. They're crafted for you by a robot. And so you answer a few questions, and then you get a cookie cutter answer from it. But one of my clients logged on to one of these websites, and she created the LLC, and then it kept adding more and more pricing. And pretty soon she was up to almost $1,000. And she said, for this much money, why don't I just call an attorney? And just for reference, an attorney will create an LLC for you in simple cases for sometimes as little as about $650. So it is not necessarily outrageously expensive to talk to an attorney. So what do you get when you DIY your LLC? Basically, you get an LLC with no operating agreement where you've talked to no professional who understands the kinds of business risks. You do actually get some of the benefits of the LLC, though. You get whatever the Iowa law or whatever state you're filing in, whatever the law grants by default. So, for example, you'll get minimal limited liability, which is usually what people want. Unfortunately, those laws do change. So in Iowa, they change almost every year, definitely at least every other year. And so right now, the protections that are in place for LLCs by default may change in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years when you need protections. And because you did not lock those rules into your operating agreement, then whatever the current law is now, that's what's going to happen for you. So I don't really recommend LLC DIY type situations or even these cheap fill out a form robot type systems. I strongly suggest talking to a lawyer who understands business risk. Now, my name is Matt Newsom. I am a lawyer in Iowa. I do only small business law, so it is iowabusinesslawyer.com. I'd love for you to call me and talk to me about what you want to do with your business. In addition to helping you create an LLC operating agreement, I help you understand what other kinds of options you have. For example, a corporation has benefits in certain situations, or maybe a trust, or maybe a partnership. I don't usually recommend those, but there's a time and place for them. I can also talk to you about some of the tax implications of what you're trying to do. So sometimes we can adjust this or that to get a better tax situation for you. Likewise, I can help you make sure that you've got a business plan. And if you are a woman or minority-owned business owner, I can help you ensure that you comply with the registration requirements that will get you some benefits for being a woman-owned or minority-owned business. Lastly, I can tell you about financing situations because I specialize in small business legal matters. I do stay in touch with banks, the SBA, the Federal Trade Commission, and other organizations to find out what kinds of deals are available for small businesses. And so, for example, I help a lot of small businesses qualify for SBA 7A loans, which can get you hundreds of thousands of dollars of money to start your business. So talking to a lawyer is a good idea. I strongly suggest it. If you want to talk to me because you are a small business owner in Iowa, it is iowabusinesslawyer.com. You can schedule an appointment with me right online. Happy to answer any questions you have. Please reach out and let me know. Thank you.